Greetings, participants of the interwebs. This is Frances Caraway here, and tonight I'm in a particularly musical mood, so I am going to be showing you my awesome vinyl collection. I started collecting vinyl records about, I think, like a year and a couple months ago. It was, like, end of June of 2014 that I started, and right now it's, like, October of 2015. So yeah, like a little bit over a year where I've started collecting vinyl records, and I absolutely adore them. There's just, it's probably like the old-fashioned gal in me talking, but I just absolutely adore the sound of vinyl records. Just like nothing compares to it in my opinion. It's just so lush and pure and ugh, gosh, I just love it. So I'm going to be introducing you to my records, or my babies. I sometimes call them my babies. I refer to my collection of old books and my collection of vinyl records as my babies. Like when people that know me hear me say, "Oh, I love my babies," "Oh, I added a new addition to the family," that just means I bought a new record or I bought a new book. So today I'm just going to be introducing you to all of them in no particular order. I actually haven't been able to count them all because, you know, I'm lazy like that. So I'm just going to kind of wing it and just as I go. So again, these are in no particular order. I'm just going to probably say like the artist, what the album is, and something I like about it, or some of my favorite songs. So, alright, without further ado, here we go. So, alright, first one on the list is Prospects March by Coldplay. Now, for those of you who watch my Getting to Know You video, you know that Coldplay is one of my top 5 favorite bands right now, and this is part of the collection of Coldplay albums that I have assembling. There are several other ones I'm going to be mentioning in this video, but there are others that I still need to get that I'm really excited. Alright, so this one, Prospects March, is kind of like, I don't know what the right word to call it is. I don't know if bonus track is the right word, I think, maybe. But basically what it is it's, some kind of, like, different mixes by Coldplay of, some of the songs from the Viva La Vida album. You'll notice the artwork looks very similar for those of you guys who know Coldplay, and if you don't, you should. So they have, so like the first, Viva La Vida has Life in Technicolor, and this is Life in Technicolor too, and it's awesome, and I'd have to say that one of my favorite songs on here has got to be, the Lovers in Japan Osaka Sun mix, and Postcards from Far Away. I absolutely adore it, and this is one of those records that I just love to listen to when I'm in a bad mood, because it just makes me feel so much happier. Alright, I'm just trying to move them into, like, a pile without, like, them sliding off my bed and toppling over. Alright, and next up we have Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies, which is actually playing right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yeah, I just kind of kept it playing in the background just because I love it so much, and honestly, I found out about this band, a friend of mine, my friend Luke, actually, he sent me one day I was kind of in like a rut, and I'm like, oh, I just really need a good song right now, and he's like, oh, you should listen to this, and he sent me Time of the Season by the Zombies, and I was like, holy mother of crap, how did I not know about this band before? This is literally everything I love. Like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So, this is a great album. The Zombies are awesome. They're such an underrated band, like, seriously. If you love the Beatles or anything that's kind of, like, older sounding or, like, 60s music, this is right up your street. I would recommend this to hell and back, and I'd have to say my favorite songs off of this have got to be, obviously, Time of the Season, since that's the one that kind of got me hooked on the Zombies, Changes, and Beechwood Park, definitely. Alright, so there's the Zombies over there. And this next one is Me Without You by Pale Horses. Now, this isn't a super well-known band, but this is one of those records where I call this thing that I do, it's called record roulette, which is when I take a record that I think looks cool or, like, is similar to genres that I enjoy. So I was kind of looking around for, like, indie and alternative rock, and I found this guy, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So what I'll do is I'll get it without listening to it first, which may seem kind of rash, but it makes sense if you really, I guess, if you really love music and you really love vinyl, because it's not like I'll buy some random one if it's super expensive, you know, if it's like $60, I'm probably not gonna take a gamble on it, but, I mean, this one I think was probably $11, I think, at a record store, so I got it, and it's awesome, and it's actually super cool. It's really good, easy listening music. I tend to put it on when I'm studying or when I'm just kind of like chilling in my room and just kind of want some background music to kind of keep me out of my weird thoughts, I suppose. And I just say my favorite songs out of this are Watermelon Ascot Tea and Magic Lantern Days. Just, I mean, the titles in themselves sound awesome. So, Pale Horses, check them out. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Next up, we have Bad Blood by Bastille. Now, y'all probably know Pompeii, like that's the big it almost stood out. It would have been really bad. But, I know that they do have some other ones, like I think, obviously Bad Blood, that, was kind of circulating around, on, like, the top of the charts at some point. But, this is probably one of the first albums I bought. I think it was actually, yeah, it was the third album that I ever bought on vinyl, and it is awesome. I listen to this one at least once a month, and it's beautiful. So what I love about Bastille is that they have this, just, the whole band just has this sort of, like, genuine chemistry, you know? You can just, like, feel all these wonderful, like, little musicality nuances happening when you hear their music, and that's what I love about it. It's just a mix of kind of, like, older instruments, a little bit of splash of techno, some splash of, like, indies, and splash of alternative, and just all around great music. Awesome. Wonderful. Alright, next up we have Hamlet, which is, the original Broadway recording, yeah, John Gieldud's production of William Shakespeare's Hamlet, and I got this one. This was actually, I think, yeah, I got this one from Half Price Books for like $4, and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get this, because Hamlet is one of my favorite Shakespearean plays. This is a great rendition of it, and I absolutely love to listen to it as I read it, because I just love it. So, yeah, I'm kind of a literature nerd as well, so I really enjoyed listening to this. Hamlet, favorite Shakespearean play, boom, there we go. Next up, we have Danger Days by My Chemical Romance. Now, this album right here, I think that this is one of the best rock albums ever created. That may seem like really, because I haven't heard every single rock album, but based on, like, my personal experience, this guy right here is just amazing. Like, I've always been a fan of My Chemical Romance, but this record is just the bomb. I absolutely love it. Everything about it is so great, because it kind of tells a story as you go, as like MCR does with a lot of their albums. And my favorite songs from here are probably Bulletproof Heart, Planetary Go, Scarecrow, and Kids from Yesterday. And Vampire Money. It's so hard to pick my favorite songs, so I just love so many of them. Alright, we got another Coldplay one, Parachutes, and this is the first album by Coldplay. I got this record for super cheap, which was pretty great. And honestly, this is one of the most calming albums that I own. Like, whenever I feel really overly committed or stressed out, I just put this on and I feel, no matter what kind of mood I'm in, I just feel so much better. And my favorite songs from here have got to be Spies, High Speed, and Everything's Not Lost. Just really beautiful, wonderful songs. Next up, we have Walt Disney's Mary Poppins. So this is the original, like, movie soundtrack with Julie. Sorry, I like hurt my lip there. With Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, and I've always loved Mary Poppins. I'm a huge Disney geek, and this movie, I love it, not just because it's Mary Poppins and it's Disney, it's awesome, but because it really reminds me a lot of spending time with my cousins and just watching Mary Poppins over and over again. I remember my cousin Henry would just keep rewinding the part with the penguins, and they're all like, and they're like getting everything ready. I really hope that made so. Hopefully, people know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, the penguin scene where they're all, but yeah, it was just awesome. The movie just brings back so many wonderful memories of spending time with my family, my grandmother, just family. That's basically what that means to me. Oh, I forgot. Favorite songs, without a doubt, Step in Time. Step in Time is my all-time favorite song. Took tap dancing for 10 years, so obviously really appreciate that one. This next one is Those Swingin' Days of Big Bands, which is kind of a collection of lots of big band songs. So like Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, I think is on here somewhere. Let's see here. Duke Ellington, Benny Goodman. Yeah, so like some just awesome songs like this. And I love to listen to music like this because it's just so swinging. Like, every time I hear it, I just want to get up and dance, and awesome. Too bad I don't have a man to dance with, but you know what I mean. So I had to say that my 3 favorite songs from this one are Russ Morgan, Does Your Heart Beat for Me, The Pied Pipers, I'll Never Smile Again, and Betty Goodman, Let's Dance. Top favorite of that. Gotta love big bands. Alright, next up we have the Flashdance soundtrack. I love this 80s movie. I wouldn't be like my top 3 favorites, but I still enjoyed it, and I didn't expect to, since, you know, I mean, at first when I saw it, I'm like, okay, it's about a stripper, like, I probably won't enjoy this, but I actually really did, and the biggest reason for that was because the soundtrack was just freaking awesome. So obviously, What a Feeling, awesome song, but, like, He's a Dream, whenever I just kind of want to get myself into, like, this, like, sexy, awesome mood, I just listen to He's a Dream, and I like dancing around my room, and, like, flipping my hair, you know, like, little bit that I have, but, yeah, still enjoyable nonetheless. Next up we have Fall Out Boy, American Beauty, American Psycho, and this is their newest album, so this has Uma Thurman on it, Centuries, and some of those, so like, Fall Out Boy is awesome. I can't really sum up the feelings it makes me feel. Their lyrics I especially appreciate because they're so unique and awesome, and I just, oh gosh, like, I can't even say anything more. They're just absolutely awesome. My favorite ones from this have got to be 4th of July, Immortals, and American Beauty / American Psycho. Check it out, worth a look. Right, here comes another record roulette one, and this is Law, Hold On To It. I actually found this in like kind of like a small record store downtown where I live, and I listened to the first song, so I guess I wasn't going in completely blind, but nonetheless, I just fell in love with it because it is so, like, Law has one of these sounds that's just so funky, but it's also easy listening, so even if you're not a huge funk person, it's really fun to just listen to. Also, the album cover is pretty groovy as well, so definitely. Alright, next up, we have Cage the Elefante. Yep, Cage the Elephant, and this is their first album. And I also got a great deal on this one. And Cage the Elephant, again, another kind of similar to Fall Out Boy, I really appreciate their lyrics. They really kind of capture the conflict of the human spirit between, like, admiring beauty in the smallest of ways, or just saying, like, screw it, we're all just humans are waiting to die, like, blah, blah, blah. So I guess it's the kind of spectrum of subjects that they tackle in their songs that really, like, draws me to them. And my favorite ones from here are, of course I gotta go for Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. That song just is awesome. But I gotta go with Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, Lotus, and Sail to the Sun. Those are my favorite ones from there. Alright, this is my very first record roulette record. That was really hard to say, but I did it. And this is the Cartel. If I would compare their sound to, like, All American Rejects, or, yeah, that's honestly the best comparison I can make. They're very similar to All American Rejects. They kind of have that, yeah, they kind of have, like, that, like, poppy rock sound, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's just really, really great. So my favorite ones from this one, the records, The Ransom, I didn't even say it, wow, are Lucky Street, and The City Never Sleeps. So, alright, Cartel, The Ransom, check it out! I've said check it out so many times, alright. We got another Coldplay, Viva La Vida, and this is my second most favorite Coldplay album. My first one I also have, which is coming up shortly. But yeah, this one it has their most popular song, Viva La Vida, but that's not even the best part. That's not my favorite song on this record. It's a great song, but my favorite ones from here are Lovers in Japan / Rain of Love and Strawberry Swing. They just make me feel so happy. Every time I hear Strawberry Swing, I always imagine, like, someone just pushing me on a little strawberry swing while I'm just like, whee, and I'm just loving life. But anyway, that was like a completely amateurish musical analysis of this record, but I don't really care. But my favorite songs I just said my favorite songs, and I'm losing my train of thought. It's like almost 12:30 where I am, so I guess I have a logical reason. Alright, another Coldplay, Rush of Blood to the Head. This is probably one of their most popular records as well. A lot of people I know who are fans of Coldplay say that this is their favorite. And I can definitely see why, because it's, this one has, like, a lot of deep topics and, like, really hardcore, feelsy songs, one of which is my favorite song, which is Warning Sign. Every time I listen to Warning Sign, I cry just because the lyrics are so passionate and beautiful. I don't want to spoil anything for you, so look it up, Coldplay, Warning Sign. That song has so many feels to it, as well as In My Place and Green Eyes. I love Green Eyes is my favorite because I have green eyes, as you can see. And every time I hear it, I pretend that Chris Martin is singing about me, even though he would never sing about me because he was singing about me, so that doesn't make any sense. Next up we have Jack Johnson, On and On. And I love Jack Johnson. I fell in love with him ever since I saw Curious George, the movie, which seems kind of like weird, I guess, but I fell in love with Upside Down and all the songs he wrote for that movie, or songs that he wrote that ended up in that movie, excuse me. So I got this one for Christmas from my awesome aunt, and I love listening to this one when I'm working on art projects especially, because it's really good for me to like kind of clear my mind and just kind of roll with the flow. Jack Johnson's very easy listening, so I'd really recommend him for like study time or just things like that. Alright, next up we have my, again, what I would say is one of the best rock albums, modern rock albums of all time. This is The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. In addition to, like, MCR is so theatrical and artistic, and that's one of the many reasons that I love them. And, this is one of my favorite records by them, and like it's like really, I like go back and forth between this one and Danger Days because they're both so awesome. But yeah, it's just wow. Again, this album just really tells a story about like life and death and rebirth and memories that live on and memories that fade, and it's just so like emotionally gripping and powerful. And even if you're not into like emo rock or whatever, you can still definitely get something out of this. And the songs that I love best from this one are Cancer, Famous Last Words, and The Sharpest Lives. Just really, really awesome. Whenever I'm kind of in an angry mood, I listen to MCR to try to like vent my feelings out on the world. Alright, next up we have, I don't even know what this one is called, but the great vocalists of the big band era. So this one has Ella Fitzgerald, Judy Garland, Peggy Lee, Nat King Cole. And I really love to listen to this one because Ella Fitzgerald is one of my favorite musicians of all time, and just listening to her is just like eating a box of fudgesicles on like a 93-degree summer's day. It is wonderful. It is just so, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my gosh, her voice just like coats your soul in like awesomeness, and you just feel so happy when you hear her voice. At least I do. I mean, you guys could not feel that at all, but that's just me. But my favorite songs from this one are obviously Ella Fitzgerald, Tisket to Tasket, and Peggy Lee's hit version of Lover. Excellent, both awesome women with insanely sexy voices, so there you go. Here we have a more modern one. This is X by Ed Sheeran, and Ed Sheeran is an amazing musician. I'm guessing a lot of you have heard of him, or probably all of you have. And I really wanted to see him in concert, but I couldn't because I had to work that day, but I heard that he was awesome. He actually played in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, so that was pretty nifty. And my favorite ones from this are I'm a Mess, Photograph, and a Bloodstream. And this one actually came with 2 discs, which is pretty neat, because then I don't know, I love when like the songs are kind of like so like in depth and everything that you need like 2 records for the entire album, because it's just, you can't contain that much awesomeness in just 1 record. And it's amazing. Ed Sheeran, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so this video is running way longer than I expected it, probably just because I'm blabbing on and on about all these records. So I think I'm going to cut this video short right now, and I will be uploading a part 2 in concordance. Is that the right vocab word? I don't even know. It's late, I'm tired, I'm lazy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But, so yeah, that was my the first half of my vinyl collection. I literally got through, I think, actually exactly half of my records. So this other very large pile that I still have yet to go through, I will continue. Something just fell. I will pick that up later. But for now, alright, so please like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and never, ever, ever forget that you are beautiful and awesome. That is all!